Have you ever lost weight only to gain it back? Maybe you tried the diet, you counted calories, you cut carbs, you exercised more, you bought the supplements, and maybe you even saw results. But then life happened, and eventually you were right back to where you started. Today, we're talking about why quick fixes don't help you lose weight for good, and what actually creates lasting change. Because losing weight isn't the same thing as becoming healthy. And if we want to build strength for generations, we have to stop looking for the fastest way to change our bodies and start building the habits that allow us to live differently for the rest of our lives. We're also going to look at this through a biblical lens because your health isn't separate from your faith. How you care for your body, how you practice discipline, how you respond when things get hard, and how you steward what God has given you all matter. So grab a notebook because I'm giving you 5 practical steps you can start using today. Welcome to Strength for Generations, the go-to podcast for Christian families who want to build strength, restore energy, and deepen connection with God at the center. I'm Krista Baker, Christian health coach, wife, mom, and co-founder of Baker Family Fitness. I'm here to help you honor God with your health and bring peace back to the process, to simplify what it means to build strength in your body, renew your mind, and care for your spirit, all without losing precious time with your family. So grab your coffee and your ribeye, and let's do this His way. Well, welcome back to the Strength for Generations podcast. For those of you that don't know me, I am your host, Krista Baker. Thanks for being here. This is where we talk about building strength, getting energetic, focusing on your health and your faith while becoming really strong for your generations to come. Now, before we get into today's training, I want to personally invite you to our free live training on September 9th. It's at 8 p.m. EST. And I am seriously excited about this training because if you've been stuck in a cycle of starting over, trying another diet, cutting more food, exercising harder, maybe not exercising at all, and hoping that this time will finally be different, I want you to be there. We're going back to the foundations. We're going to talk about what actually needs to happen for you to create lasting health instead of constantly starting over. This is not another extreme plan. I don't do those. I don't do quick fixes. That's what we're going to talk about today. This is not about, starving yourself and seeing how little you can eat or about living on salads. And it's definitely not about trying to become perfect overnight. But I am going to help you simplify this, and I'm going to help give you the foundation. We're going to be live. It's going to be so much fun. It's for men. It's for women. It's for couples. This is for parents who want to become healthier and stronger for themselves and their families. So make sure you save the date, September 9th at 8 p.m. Invite a friend, invite your husband or your wife. And you can also just go to the link in the show notes and register so that I know that you're coming, and that's how you're going to get the link. So make sure you bring a notebook, bring your questions, and come ready to learn. All right, my friends. So I think most of us have had the moment where we decide, okay, that's it. Monday is going to be different. That's it. I'm going to be eating perfectly. I'm going to work out every day. I'm going to drink all the water. I'm going to stop eating sugar. I'm going to get my life together. And maybe Monday goes great. Tuesday goes pretty good. Wednesday gets a little bit harder. And then Thursday happens. You're exhausted. The kids need you. Work is busy. You didn't prepare your food. You didn't get your workout in. And suddenly you think, well, I already messed up. So you give up. Then a few weeks later, you start again. This cycle can go on for years. I'll be honest with you, I was stuck in a cycle like this for a long time where I found on the weekends, I would really be derailed. And when I say to clients, I'm like, guys, we got to win the weekend. There's a reason why I have my clients track certain things at certain times because I know trends are different on obviously over the summer, but, on your regular week-to-week basis, generally the weekends look a lot different than the weekdays. And I want you to understand something. The problem isn't necessarily that you don't have enough willpower. The problem may be that you're trying to create a completely different life with a plan you are never going to be able to maintain. There's times that I wanted answers immediately. I wanted to know what was wrong. I just want to fix it. I wanted the right supplement, the right food, the right protocol. Well, maybe if I do this, this is going to be the thing. But sometimes the answer isn't another complicated solution. Sometimes you have to go back to the foundation. And that's exactly what we're doing today. So our first step today is we're going to change the reason you want to lose weight. Your body is not something you should hate into submission. We live in a culture that constantly tells us our bodies aren't good enough. Lose weight, get smaller, look younger, fix this, hide that, change this part. And it can become very easy to start believing that the reason you need to lose weight is because your body isn't worthy right now. And that's not the message I want you to walk away with today. Your worth does not come from your weight. Your value doesn't come from your clothing size. Your identity doesn't come from the number on the scale. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't care about our health. There's a difference. In 1 Corinthians 6:19-20, your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit. You are not your own. You were bought at a price, therefore honor God with our bodies. Well, that changes the conversation. So instead of asking, how quickly can I make my body smaller? Maybe we ask, how can I become a better steward of the body God has given me? And that is such a different mindset. And this is what I love helping people really reveal. Because when we exercise, we don't want to do it because we hate our body. Instead, we want to exercise because we want to be strong and we care about our body. You're not eating nutritious foods because you have to punish yourself. I've had so many people make comments to me over the years as if the food that's in front of me is boring. When, to be honest with you, if I were to be just as rude, because when people do that to me, it's actually pretty ignorant, and they don't realize that they're now placing judgment on what I've chosen. Like, I'm not judging them for what they have in front of them, but I could choose to be like, oh, well, do you have any idea like what you're doing to your body? Imagine I did that. It would be rude, right? How come it's not the other way? And so what if we think about this nutritious food as, instead of it being the punishing, what if we say, oh, I'm doing this because I actually want to feel energetic. You're not getting enough sleep because it's another rule. You're doing it because your body needs recovery. Or you're not taking care of yourself because you're selfish. You're taking care of yourself because you have people you love and a purpose you're called to live. So today's action step, I want you to write down one reason you want to become healthier that has nothing to do with your appearance. So maybe it's playing with your kids. Maybe it's being there for your grandchildren. Maybe it's having energy for your spouse. Maybe it's being able to serve others. Maybe it's simply wanting to feel strong again. I want you to write that down. That reason right there, my friends, is going to matter when your motivation disappears. Because motivation will disappear. Okay, and that brings us to step 2. We're going to stop depending on motivation. It is great. I think motivation is fantastic. I think we do need to develop some motivation to get our butts moving. Use it when you have it, but motivation is not the strategy. There's going to be days when you do not feel like working out. Today, I went to the gym, and it's not that I didn't feel like working out. I think I'm fighting a bit of a bug. And I'm definitely feeling a little bit more tired than normal. So I still got there though. That's the discipline that I have is to kind of get up and go. My body likes to do that. But when I get there, things change a little bit while I'm there. Maybe I'm not pushing as hard as I was the day before, but it also goes with like our cooking. There's going to be days where you don't feel like cooking. There's going to be days when the couch just looks way more better than the gym. Trust me. This morning, I wanted to just go back to bed, but I chose not to because I have a big day ahead of me. And I knew if I got there, it was just going to give me the energy that I needed in order to really go and have a good day. And there's going to be days when you're tired. There's going to be days when you mess up. That's totally normal. The question isn't, will I ever struggle? The question is, what am I going to do when I struggle? This is where discipline comes in, right? Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is doing what matters even when you don't feel like doing it. Hebrews 12:11 says, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace. There's a harvest, but there's also a process. You don't plant a seed today and dig it up tomorrow because you don't see a tree. Water it, you care for it, you give it time. Your health works the same way. You don't need to be perfect, but you need to keep showing up. So instead of saying, I missed my workout, I'll start again Monday, you say, I missed today, what can I do next? Or maybe, can I even just go for a 10-minute walk? Instead of saying, I ate too much at dinner, so the whole week is ruined, you say, that meal's over, my next decision still matters. That's how we break that all or nothing cycle. So your action step for this one is, I want you to choose one health habit you can commit to doing consistently this week. Not 10, just one. Put it on your calendar and then do it whether you feel like it or not. Make that commitment, my friends. All right, step 3, we're going to stop thinking less food automatically means better results. So I want to talk about something that gets people into a lot of trouble. They hear eat less, so they keep eating less. They're hungry all day. They have no energy. Their workouts suffer. They're thinking about food constantly. Eventually they overeat and then they blame themselves. Now, calorie intake matters when we're talking about weight loss, but constantly trying to survive on as little food as possible isn't a long-term health strategy. We need to learn how to build meals that actually support us. I know, right? Start with protein. Yes, start with protein. And I think fat is equally as important as protein because a lot of people don't realize that they need that for their hormone production. And I just think we over consume carbohydrates. I'm not saying carbs are bad for you, but I think we have an overconsumption issue. So I want you to make sure that you guys are really thinking about that. We build meals that keep you feeling satisfied. A healthy diet doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need a perfect diet. You need a healthy diet that you can actually live with. And this is where convenience matters. If the only healthy food available to you requires 2 hours of cooking every night, you're going to struggle. Healthy convenience is a skill. So we have certain things prepared. We take some time and we prepare. And we clean the foods that we need to have clean, ready to go, versus just everything that's just quick grab, packaged. Because that's the thing that we just lean into when life gets busy. I get it. Trust me. I'm just as guilty of it myself. I do not have it all figured out, but I do have some really good habits that I've built in over the years. So it's kind of like just natural for me, but it doesn't mean I don't struggle. And so we need to have simple options for those busy nights. And we need to make those choices easier because we're prepared. That's what planning is. And planning makes consistency easier. So your action step for this one is before your next grocery trip, I want you to choose 3 protein sources and 2 easy meals you can make when life is busy. Like plan it around your protein. I want you to keep it simple. The goal isn't to, impress anyone or be like, hey, I brought the most elaborate meal here while I watched my kid at cheer. Like, nobody cares about that. The goal is just to make having those always options always available. Okay, step 4, we're going to build strength instead of just chasing a smaller body. So if your goal is simply to make the number on the scale smaller, you might think any exercise will do. But if your goal is to become stronger, healthier, and more capable as you age, strength training needs a place in your life. I'm going to say it again, non-negotiable. Forever and ever. Amen. Muscle matters, guys. Strength matters. Being able to pick up your kids matter. Carrying your groceries matters. Getting off the floor matters. How many people do I talk to that can't get off the floor? Being physically capable matters. And strength training isn't just for people who want to look muscular. It's for women. It's for men. It's for parents. It's for kids. It's for your athletes. It's for your older adults. It's for my seniors who are, developing Parkinson's. Like everyone needs it. It's for people who want to stay independent. It's for people who want to build a body that can serve them for decades. You don't need to destroy yourself in a workout. You don't need to exercise for 2 hours. You just need to train consistently. So start where you are. Learn good movement, progress gradually, and get stronger. Your action step for this one is if you're not currently strength training, I want you to start with 2 sessions this week. Just make them 15 minutes if you have to. They don't need to be perfect. Do something for your lower body, do something for your upper body, and do something for your core if you feel like you need to. Remember, they don't need to be perfect, guys. They just need to happen. Okay, step 5, we are going to renew your mind and invite God into the process. I've said this before. This is the most important step because I don't want you to hear everything we've talked about today and turn it into another list of rules. Actually, I was doing a devotion this morning and was talking about the commandments. And there's just a lot of rules that we can live by in the Bible. And when it comes to this stuff, guys, there are certain things that are just non-negotiables. I say it a lot. Don't skip the steps. Don't want this just to be a list of rules. It's not the goal. The goal is transformation. Romans 12:2 says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Notice that it starts with the mind, because lasting change isn't just about changing what you eat. It's about changing what you believe. So if you believe, I always fail, you're going to act like someone who always fails. If you believe, I can't change, you're going to stop trying. If you believe, I have to be perfect, every mistake comes an excuse to quit. Like, how many people that I know quit? And it breaks my heart. It's like, what's the point? Oh, I had a bad week. I'm not going to check in. Oh, I messed up. So I suck. I'm a failure. Like, can you imagine your kids saying that about themselves in front of you? What would you say to them? That's what God looks at when we do that to ourselves. He's looking at down. He's like, my poor daughter, like, she's really hard on herself. Or my son, man, he's really, really being mean to himself. What if we started believing something different? What if we started saying things like, I can learn. I can grow. I can make another choice. I don't have to be perfect. I can become stronger. I can honor God with my body. And that doesn't mean everything suddenly becomes easy. It means you approach the hard things differently. And that's what I want for you. Not another diet, not another January 1st resolution, not another cycle of restriction and guilt. I want you to build a life where healthy choices become normal, where your kids see you taking care of yourself and your spouse sees you becoming stronger, where movement becomes part of your family's life, where nutritious food isn't something you're afraid of, where you don't panic because you had one meal that wasn't perfect, where you understand that one decision does not determine your entire future. You simply make the next good decision, and then another one, and then another one. And that's how change happens. So your action step for this one is I want you to spend 5 minutes this week praying about your health journey. Ask God, where do I need more discipline? I did that this morning. I said, God, I think I'm kind of resorting into some old behavior that's not normal for me. And I know I'm pretty disciplined, but right now I need help with my perseverance and my ability to just follow through and not fall back into old ways. Ask him, where do I need wisdom? Where do I need to change? Where do I need to ask for help? How can I better steward the body you've given me? And then listen. Don't just ask, but be willing to act on what he shows you. So here's your challenge this week. Let's make this incredibly practical. I want you to take these 5 steps and put them into action this week. So remember, step 1, write down your reason. Step 2, choose one habit and commit to it. Step 3, build simple, satisfying meals. Step 4, complete 2 strength training sessions. And step 5, pray and renew your mind. That's it. You don't have to overhaul your entire life this week. You need to prove to yourself that you can keep promises to yourself. One choice at a time, one meal at a time, one workout at a time, one day at a time. Quick fixes don't teach you how to live differently. Extreme restriction doesn't create a healthy relationship with food. Motivation isn't enough. You need habits, consistency, strength, nutritious food, and recovery. But most importantly, we need to renew your mind. This isn't about becoming worthy. You already have worth. This is about becoming a better steward. You have one body, you have one life here on earth, and you have people watching you. Remember your kids and your spouse and your family and your friends and your life group and maybe you're a pastor, so everyone that you're surrounded by, they're watching. And you have an opportunity to show them what it looks like to take responsibility for your health without becoming obsessed with it. And that's what I mean when I talk about strength for generations. We're not just changing ourselves, we're changing what our families believe is normal. And trust me, remember, God is he flips things upside down. And that's what we need to do in our health too. And it matters, guys. So if today's episode hit home for you, I really would love it for you to join our free live training on September 9th at 8 p.m. And it's going to take what we've talked about today and help you understand the bigger picture. I'm going to give you a very clear place to start. You'll have an opportunity to ask questions. I am super excited about this training because I know how many people are tired of trying everything and they're still feeling stuck. You don't need any more confusion, my friends. That's what the world wants. You need a clear foundation. So go to the link in the show notes and register. It's completely free. September 9th, 8 p.m. EST. Come live. Bring your notebook. Bring someone with you, your spouse, your friend, your sister, someone who's ready to stop starting over. I can't wait to see you guys there. Until next time, remember, you don't have to change everything today. Just keep showing up and keep building strength for generations. Thanks for tuning in to Strength for Generations. If this podcast encouraged you, it would be a blessing if you took a quick minute to leave a 5-star review. It helps more families hear this message and find hope for their health and faith journey. It lights me up to know this podcast is helping you. And if you feel led to share this episode, text it to a friend, post it to your stories, or send it to someone on your heart. God might use it to encourage someone who really needs it today. And don't forget to eat steaks, lift weights, love Jesus, and keep doing it His way.